decision based on my own experience, understanding, not rely on others. I come from a typical Chinese urban family. Based on one-child policy, I don't have brother or sister. My parents are all civil servants who work for the government. In China, especially in the second-tier cities like my hometown, civil servant is kind of basic job, have a high social status, good salary, a stable living standard, and not so busy. They love their own jobs and achieve very good results. When I was 5 years old, they all being promoted as the leaders. I don't know whether you have such memories in your childhood. The quiz you got a good score, or you help your family in the housework like cleaning the room, or it's a birthday, or children's day. Your parents want to reward you, so they take you to the toy store and told you choose a toy you like as a gift. Then you are very happy. Oh, there are so many different kinds of toy. You want this? No, you want both. How many pieces can I take? Just one. So you start a very tough choice. Which one should I take home and which one should I put down? The story had a completely different vision in my life. When my parents took me to the toy store, my mother will ask me to waiting for her near the cashier, and then she walk into different kinds of toys and pick and choose until find out the most satisfactory toy for me in her view. Before this model was formed, I also struggled, but I found that the toys I selected always have some problems. Too big or too small, have a similar style, or the quality is not so good. But my mother's choice is always better. So I don't go to the toy store anymore, because I know my mother will always help me pick out the most suitable toy for me and take it home. I just need to wait at home patiently. Through my first story, I think everyone could understand. Since my childhood, I lose the opportunity to choose by myself. Using the word lose sounds negative, but it is interesting that I treat my parents help me to make decisions as a very positive behavior. This picture often happens in my family. After dinner, there are many guests who are my parents' colleagues and friends come to my home, and they sit around the sofa and ask my parents' opinions about the problems they faced, like their career planning or their children's education, and etc. My parents are very warm-hearted person. They talk and share ideas till midnight. Before leaving, they always say, "Your advices are very helpful. Thank you very much." At that time, I thought, do I need to thank my parents for helping me to choose toys? Based on all this, I become a very parental boy. If buying toys just a small case, maybe the big thing should be my parents help me to transfer schools. I mean, the transfer from one school to another. I had transferred 3 kindergartens, 2 primary schools, 2 junior high schools, and 2 high schools. It's just like when my parents think my learning situation is not so good as they respect, they will help me to transfer to a better school. So I often say 2 sentences to my classmates. "Hello everyone, very happy to join these new classes, hoping to make friends with you." And "Hello everyone, very happy memories we learned together. Today will be my last day, bye-bye." I still remember the feelings of every transfer. Without any anxiety or unhappy, I simply believe that my parents' decision is right. I have no signs that I'm losing self-choice ability step by step. When I was in college, there was little things happen that made me aware that maybe this is a problem. When I was in my junior year, I took my girlfriend to see my parents. In China, it means a very important step of relationships. I hope they love each other. I booked a very famous restaurant. Of course, that's my parents' favorite. After sitting, my father said, "You two order the dishes, please. Order what you like." So we did that, and we washed our hands together. The problem occurred after we come back. I found that the dishes are not we ordered before. At first, I thought it may be the waiter's mistake, but actually it is because my father. He changed the dishes when we wash our hands together. Except this small case, the dinner goes very well. My girlfriend and I discussed it later. We all think it was not a big deal. She still loves my parents. But what she said, just a simple sentence, made me thought a long time. She said, "My dad will not do that. He will respect my choice, even the food is not so delicious." The next year, my girlfriend became my wife. And the real problem broke out in my wedding. Of course, between my parents and I. Chinese wedding is different from foreign weddings. There are so many people attending the wedding, about 300. But most of the guests are parents, colleagues, and friends. It's not just a wedding between couples and their friends, but also a ceremony to inform the parents' friends my son or my daughter is married. Because I work in the media industry, it is familiar to me that how to organize these kinds of activities. Most of the process going very well, except one thing. That is my wedding stamp. This is what I want. Yes. It's very pure and elegant, all in white and green. The wedding background is white balance, dotted with white lilies and green plants. But my father was very angry about this style. What he wants is like this. He said, red is the wedding color in China. The wedding should be lovely, like a festival. Everywhere should be dotted in red. Suddenly I realized that a war, actually a revolution, is coming. I will not change my wedding color. This is my own wedding. I have the right to decide my wedding color. And actually, this is the first time I have a face-to-face conflict with my father. You know, in our culture, the father in the family plays a very serious and authoritative role. So, in the end, is my wedding color in white or in red? Obviously. What? Red, yes. Yes, I compromised. That was thanks to my smart wife. She played a very important role between my father and I. As I introduced before, most of the guests are my parents' friends, so I changed my mind. But I told my parents clearly, after getting married, I will make all decisions by myself, even if it is wrong. And this is what I said, also this is what I did. Last year, I made a very important choice, quit my job and study abroad. I told my parents formally, because we are not living in the same city, so when they hear my choice, they fly to Beijing immediately. I knock my door in the midnight. And they advised me to continue working and living in Beijing. Actually, I totally understand what they said. My work is kind of decent, like their works. Working in the government sector, the pressure of the work is not so heavy and the salary is quite good. The colleagues also nice. I had bought a car and a house, and my 4-year-old son grew up in the kindergarten healthy and happy. Everything looks so perfect, but I have my own concern. I always have a dream of studying abroad. My educational level like a disadvantage that is always concerned to me. Although my current work is not so demanding my English, but I know one day this problem will be an emergency. And I'm really tired of day-by-day mechanical life. I'm eager to challenge, eager to change. I wish I could study abroad with my wife and my son, so I can predict how much difficulty are there waiting for me. And I also believe that I can overcome them one by one. My parents didn't change my mind this time. I start my plan after my 28th birthday. Preparing for the IELTS test, preparing for the application materials, and from Beijing to Singapore several times to help my son contact the kindergarten, to help my wife to prepare the materials for long-term visa. So I celebrate my 29th birthday in Singapore with my family. I succeed. But it is not an experiential story, because my family's life in Singapore was in a mess. My son didn't adapt to the new environment in the kindergarten. He can't speak English as Chinese, and the students' hall don't have parks or slides like community. He meets his friends and becomes unhappy. My wife didn't adapt to the hot and humid climate. Food is not our taste. Study pressure is so heavy, so I don't have enough time to accompany her. She felt boring and lonely. When I found that I can't bear the double pressure from family and study, I began to illness frequently. Fever, allergy, and in my midterm exam of a course, my score is 40, the lowest one in my class. And at the same time, my son was sick. Suddenly I realized I can't handle all this. So I took all my family flight back to Beijing immediately. On the plane, I can't fall asleep. I began to consider whether the original choice of mine is wrong. Are there any factors that I didn't take into account? I have reflection, but I don't regret. Because at first, I make this decision very, very carefully. To be honestly to say, I can't rely on my parents for whole life. I think it's just like walking. Some ways are easy to walk, some are hard to walk. But I want to walk both, because they all have the best scenery. I came back to Singapore alone, totally threw myself into my study. My son returned to his kindergarten class in Beijing, played with his old friends happily. My wife take care of my son, yoga, fitness, ask friends for afternoon tea and party. After correct again and again, our lives step into a new model. This is my own story, and I hope it could inspire you a little. And this is pictures of my family.